multi-layer perceptron? Multi-layer perceptron is basically the concept where you have a neural network with not just one single perceptron but multiple perceptron forming what is known as the possibility of capturing more nonlinear functions like SOR. These are not necessarily linearly separable, but now with the additional layer which you can add here. For example, in here I can capture SOR using this one extra layer added in the middle, which was earlier not possible in the single layer perceptron. In the single layer perceptron, you have only one cell, right? But here, we're talking about adding an extra layer before you compute the final SOR. So you can look at it later, it will work. This combination, it will work. It will go into the same thresholding function, fine. But we're only achieving this by adding one more layer. So what you are saying, what you hinted that are we allowed to do a range? That's what this is doing. This is trying to create artificially two lines with two ranges, creating a range, which is not possible to do with a single line. Single line is only divide the whole thing into two regions. But what you need is three regions to be separated. Right? If you see the map of SOR, you need three regions. 1, 2, 3. So you need two lines to separate. That is why we need an additional layer for SOR to be functional. Got it? So now if you think about it, now we have the power of the universe with us because we can capture many varieties of nonlinear models in our neural network formalism. And that is where this research started to kick off again. Once multi-layer perceptron was invented, they said, okay, now I have a lot of power. I can do lots of modeling power which is not necessarily related to linear regression only. I can do a lot more nonlinear equations modeling in using this formalism. So typically a single neuron functions like this. There is a set of input parameters. There is a bias which is W0. Right? Then you combine them, then there is something known as a thresholding function. So this is what is known as TLU, thresholding logic unit, which is single layer perceptron. But now if you want to arrange it in a typical large multi-layer perceptron, how it works is, you at the topmost layer you have input nodes which are coming as here. Then you have a set of threshold logic units in one layer. Next layer, like that. You have multiple hidden layers, and finally there is an output layer on which this comes up. Only thing is now, as people started looking at more and more complex functions, they said, why should I keep only a single thresholding function as a nonlinear component? Can I use some complex nonlinearity inducing functions over the linear sum which you got here? Can you put some more masala into this and try to create more complex functions? That is when the notion of multiple formats of activation functions came up. Activation function, the earliest one was the thresholding function. It says above a threshold, some value, below or equal to a threshold, some value, or above and equal to a value, certain value, below another value. That was the thresholding function. That was the simplest form of activation function. Then as we grew more and more complex functions, more complex activation functions started to be discovered, giving more capabilities for this kind of an architecture. But the basic architecture is still the same. Every node is basically take the linear sum, sigma wxi, subject it to the activation function, and you get the nonlinear behavior. Simplest one was the TLU, where we said you give a threshold which is greater than equal to, give one value, less than equal to, less than, you give it another value. But now it may be more complex activation functions. So what we call that is several varieties of activation functions function on top of once you get the sigma of wxi, and then the final output is based on how the activation function acts on this.